As I was going through my video editing process, I realized that the video that I made for Jellyfin kind of sucked, more so than usual. So I'm going to be recreating it, but you'll see what you guys have in store: Jellyseer, Recycler, and Requester. But we'll go ahead and get into this, and I want to warn you, this is going to be a bare bones installation. That's why I have the second tab pulled up, and it's the video by Ibracorps. And they made a really good video on Jellyfin just like a couple weeks ago. And I recommend that you watch this if you want a full, really good guide on how to configure Jellyfin and stuff like that. I'm only going to be doing the Truenas scale specific, and then I'm also going to be showing some plugins that they don't use, or at least one plugin that they don't use, because I believe it came out maybe a week after they made their video or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but as I've been saying, I'm going to be setting up Jellyfin. You can choose to set up Plex at this stage, or MB if you want to. I did use Plex for a while. It's just since let me see. Yeah, since version 10.8 came out for Jellyfin, it's been amazing for me, and I think the GUI is way better and stuff like that. So I'm going to set up Jellyfin at this stage. You can set up whatever media server that you want. So we're going to be using the application from TrueCharts Stable. This is another one of their applications that is easy to set up and has actually been very stable. Okay, and then the image environment, the server URL, this is going to be if you're using reverse proxy or something like that. I'm not, so I'm just going to go ahead and go next through that. Storage and persistence, we obviously need to add, and then make sure it's host path simple, and then find our media folder. Add our media folder, because if you guys remember, within our media folder is all of our other little folders that have all of our media and stuff like that. So we just need the parent directory. That'll be good. Here's where you will enable ingress. I have ingress set up on my actual installation. It's just I'm not going to be setting it up in my test environment. Here you can set custom resources. I also have this set higher on my actual environment. For instance, I think I have this set at 40,000. But I'm going to leave it set at 4,000, and then you can increase the RAM and stuff like that if you would like to as well. And that should be it. Go ahead and click save and wait for this to launch. Okay, so it looks like Jellyfin has came up, so we'll go ahead and press open. I speak English, and then go ahead and create a username and password. And then we'll go ahead and add our library. Again, since this is a bare bones installation, I'm only going to be adding my one library that has one movie in it. If you guys want the full video and stuff like that, again, check out the Ibracorps video. It's going to be way more in depth than this one is. This is just to get you up off your feet if you need it. All this other stuff is good. I'm not going to change anything else. Yeah, that all looks good to me, so I'm going to press OK, and then of course this is where you'll add the rest of your media. Next through all that, allow remote connections to the server, yep, then finish, and now we need to re-sign in. Okay, and then after signing in, you'll be greeted with this screen. You can see I have my one movie right there, but we'll go ahead and click the menu up here. Go to under administration, go to dashboard, and then scroll down to the plugins. And then we'll go to repositories, because there's two repositories that we need to add. Go ahead and copy this. These will be in the video description. Manifest is one of them, and then the second one is the skip intro. Skip intro, and then we'll go back to the catalog. One thing to mention, in the Ibracorps video, he adds two manifests. I believe he adds manifest 1 and then manifest 2. One of those has been integrated into stable, so if your catalog is not loading and it just gives you this circle wheel forever, it's because one of your repositories are no longer accessible, so make sure you check up on that. So the only plugin that I'm not going to get into today is the LDAP authentication. I do have this set up on my actual server in kind of like a hacky way. If you want a video on this, let me know. It takes kind of a long time to set up. That's why I'm not going to be covering it in this setup, because then I'd also have to set up my LDAP configuration and stuff like that on the server, and it would take a long time. Okay, so intro skipper, obviously we want this. Go ahead and install that. And then this is just going to skip intros on series and whatnot. After you get done installing, you can come up to this back button up here. Okay, and then merge versions is so I have the Dark Knight on my library. If I had a 4K version and a 1080p version and I wanted them to show up under the same name, this is what I would download for that. I don't hold both 4K and 1080p, so I'm not going to install this. Playback reporting, I'll go ahead and grab that. It's kind of like Tatuli. Then go back. Then this all looks good. Theme songs, I do like having theme songs play once you click on like a series or something like that and you're selecting your episode. AnyDB and AnyList, I'm going to download both of these. So these are just for anime metadata and stuff like that. It's up to you. If you don't watch that, that's totally up to you. Another optional one would be Fan Art TV. This is actually really cool because it's well, like it says, it's just like a bunch of fan art and stuff like that for your movies and your TVs and stuff like that. So then the posters and whatnot that they're using looks really good. I actually really like it. It makes your library look really awesome. Okay, and then we'll get TMDB box sets. Install this one as well. And then TV Maze and the TV database. I want to install those just for more metadata and stuff like that. Install that. Done. And I believe that's it. Okay, and if we go to My Plugins, you'll see that the status says restart. That means that it wants us to restart the container and then it will finish installing those plugins. But first, we're going to go to playback, and then I like to allow encoding in HEVC format. This is the only setting that I'm going to mess with. I'm not going to do hardware acceleration or anything like that because I don't have any hardware. This is all covered. All of these other settings and stuff like that, again, it's covered very well in the Ibracorps video. This is just a very bare bones installation. And on networking, you don't have to do anything. I've never changed anything on networking or anything like that. Not like how you have to do for Plex. This will be completely vanilla. So now since it wants us to restart the container, we'll go ahead and stop it. And then we'll just turn it back on. So Jellyfin is up. We'll come back up here, refresh this, and then we'll go down to plugins again. And then we'll go to intro skipper. Automatically skip intros. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. This is the only setting that you can currently use at the time of this video that'll work, and it'll just automatically skip your intros. That's what I prefer for right now. You can download if you go to their GitHub, it's by Confused Polar Bear. If you go to their GitHub, they'll have documentation on how to actually get the button and stuff like that on your web GUI. You would have to download a separate installation of Jellyfin. I didn't want to do that, so I'm just going to automatically skip intros, and I'm just going to be a-okay with that. So go ahead and click save. And then you'll want to go to scheduled tasks. And then intro skipper, you'll see that right here. We'll go to the play button. Oh, it's saying failed because I only have one movie in here, so that makes sense. But yours should not say failed if you actually have a series. Okay, and then go to Fan Art TV. This requires an API key. You just have to go to their website and then sign up. It's completely free, and then after you sign up, go to your personal settings or whatever and then paste your API key in here. Playback reporting, we also installed that, so we'll go down here, and then once you actually start watching stuff and you've actually done stuff with your server, stuff will actually show up here. And then the rest of the stuff that we installed was pretty much just metadata. So we'll go to our library. And then once you go to library, again, this is explained in the Ibracorps video. If you haven't watched that yet, you need to go to manage library. And then if this was like a media folder, or it is a media folder, but if this was an anime folder, obviously you would activate these two and make sure they're at the top. I cannot talk right now. I don't know why. Okay. Then image fetchers for movies. Fan art, obviously you want that at the very top, except maybe if it's anime, you'll want one of these two up there. It's really up to you. You can mess around with it and stuff like that, but I guess I can, well, I don't have the API key in there, so I'm not going to activate that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then after you get done with all your plugins and your new metadata and stuff like that, you'll want to come here, and then you'll want to scan library, and then you'll want to probably replace all metadata. Replace existing images, because if it's still using the old images, it's not using your fan art API and stuff like that. You'll want to replace all the images, refresh all your metadata, and then after it gets done with that, everything should look really good. Okay, well, that will be everything for our media player for right now. I'm going to go ahead and edit this video, and then we'll get on to the next video.